Launch control team working no technical issues, and weather is...
The Johnny Rocket Launch Pad. And now, here's Johnny.
Hey, it's Johnny Rocket here at the Johnny Rocket Launchpad, launching ideas in your direction and Northwest only. Rock and roll libertarian radio show. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Kurt Nelson.
Bam!
Voice of reason, the beautiful Heather Nixon.
Hello.
And make sure you check out the JohnnyRocketLaunchpad.com for all your episodes, schedules, blogs, videos, all in one place. Type in JohnnyRocketLaunchpad.com for the ultimate libertarian experience. Let us launch even more ideas in your direction.
Even more.
Even fucking more. And we can say fuck because we can. Because this is goddamn America and there's no FCC. So here's what we do here on our third and final. Oh, by the way, we have our guest, the former vice chair of the Libertarian Party. Give it up for Barry J. Hess. Woo! Yeah! Here we are again, Mr. Hess. And anyway, so...
You know, one thing I would say, Johnny, though, just for your career in radio and podcasting, is sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Or, I loved it, temptation resisted is the true measure of character.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you can, but you don't. You were just swearing all over the hell like some sailor or something.
And he does that.
Yeah, it has shock value. People would be shocked if they could understand Adolf Hitler's speeches, because at near the end, he worked himself into a frenzy. Every other word was foul, and it was done on purpose so as to incite the emotional response of the audience.
And that's what I'm trying to do.
But yeah, I get it. I don't care.
I'm very emotional right now. I'm all giddy.
She is. If you can see her, she's all giddy.
See what you did?
See what you did, Johnny?
See, it works.
Well,
Bam.
that'll pay off for him tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Anyway, so the third segment, what we do is we start off a thing called Rocket Fire. Basically, I'm going to ask you 10 questions. If you can answer these questions between 30 to 60 seconds, and are you ready to play Rocket Fire?
Well, I'm going to have to take a deep breath because, as you know, brevity is not a word found in the Libertarian Dictionary. But I will endeavor to do my best to comply with your regulations, sir.
Rock and roll. Let's play Rocket Fire. Question 1. Are you up for open borders?
It depends on what you call open borders. The free flow of human labor with minimal restrictions or requirements, absolutely. To completely open it up to illegal trade across non-designated borders, no. Simply because I think that the American people, we have a jurisdictional authority, and it only covers ground so far. I mean, it'd be nice to say we don't recognize borders. Well, then pretty soon Canada gets to be pretty big, and so does Mexico, and we're gone.
Right.
So you do have to defend the border in some sense, and even if the CIA pays for it, there is still that element that can come across the border. In fact, I had proposed a very inexpensive way to keep everyone out, and I could guarantee no penetration in the border to the same exact system that is employed and has been for over 50 years around a place called Groom Lake, also known as Area 51. It is where the government keeps secrets from the American people, and not one person has ever penetrated it. The beauty of it is it's almost all electronic, and with the push of a button, you could shut it all down and make it all go away when we come to our senses, once any threat is gone. So having said that, I absolutely, I don't know what the argument about this citizenship nonsense is all about. If you want to come over and stimulate our economy, yay.
Let's do it.
That's why they should make any of these socialist programs. I mean, I'm a libertarian. I don't care if you want to be socialist. Just don't make my membership mandatory. As long as I have the right to say, thanks, but no thanks, Well, but then you won't be able to get no money when you're old.
Right.
like anybody else will either. It's or whatever, I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'll take care of myself. I'm fine. Thank you.
Question 2. How do you feel about the Native Americans in the United States?
Well, I'm an 8th Cherokee, and let's see, I feel pretty good about them. I don't care what color or where they come from or ancestry.
Right on.
I think they should be treated as a sovereign nation, and by that, not what the Supreme Court had designated as a dependent sovereign nation. A domestic dependent sovereign is what the Supreme Court called them. And I thought, what an oxymoron. I mean, that's just stupid. Either they're free or not. Leave them alone.
Right.
It's not like they're going to go to war with us, and if they do, big whoop.
Right.
Is there really a tenable threat? And that, I think that they should be treated as a separate culture and nation to the extent that they want to. And therein lies the problem. What happens to the land? Can someone come in and Chief Little Arrow gives his son 10 acres, and his son says, "Hey, I want to go over and hang out in Las Vegas and be an entertainer. I'm going to sell my 10 acres of land."
Sure.
That is part of their sovereign nation. Is that possible to do that? In other words, take it out of the jurisdiction of the nation. And I think that's one of the big problems that many people don't see is these people, I'm all for just leave them alone.
Right.
Let them do what they will, and protect your culture and take care of your people. Just don't offer a threat, and we're good. And, hey, if you want to make some money, why don't you open up some tourist trinket shops?
Absolutely. Question 3. What government program would you get rid of in the state of Arizona?
The Department of Education.
Bam! Awesome. Question 4. What government bureaucracy would you get rid of on the federal level?
All of the Patriot Act, everything, because
Right on.
they're so intertwined that, with Homeland Security and all the other crap, I think the Patriot Act is the basis for all of them, so let's get rid of that one.
5. Can political or higher political salaries ever be justified?
Maybe in times of real economic boom where taxes have gone down and people have more money in their pocket, I would think if they do a good job, I'm all about commission. I mean, I was going to be governor and say, okay, I don't want a salary, but I did introduce the idea, one of the things, thinking back to multi-level, I said, how about a commission? I'll take 1% of everything I cut off the budget. How about that?
Very cool. 6. Should we have a minimum wage?
All it does is foster inflation.
Right.
And people don't realize it becomes a wash, except to the extent that now you are double taxed with big money and littler money. It's stupid because it forces, it's not the common worker now starts at $15. LA, that just did that deal, and they're going to crumble just like the base of Seattle and San Francisco are doing. They're already showing signs of weakness.
Absolutely.
Because of this silliness. But what happens is the managers above them say, well, wait a minute. I used to make $20 an hour, and that was more than twice what the other guy. Those little monkeys, they're still only worth half of what I am, so I get $30 an hour.
Right.
And then their managers, and it goes up the line. And of course, ultimately, the company, in order to recoup these new costs, have to raise the price of their products to the very people at the bottom of the rung.
Absolutely. 7. What mistakes do most politicians make?
I think they are willing to, they think they can play in the percentages, and that you can waffle on principle, a little bit of freedom. And I think that it's the mendacity, I call it the muddle in the middle. It's usually the Republican Party. At least the socialists on the end of the Democrats, and you got the Libertarians, the anti-socialists, those will always be the true poles in the political spectrum. The Republican Party literally is the muddle in the middle.
Right. I'm with you. Question 8. Should we move away from government spending on infrastructure like roads, bridges, and canals?
I do not think so. And I know that you're hey, wait, that's not how you're supposed to answer that. No, I think that I would stick with the post roads theory. And while I'm all for private roads, I think that allowing the free flow of traffic, even if you got pissed off and you own the highway across Missouri, and somebody's got to get, I got to get to the other side to see Aunt Sally. She's on her deathbed. And you go, no, I'm closed it all down for my daughter's birthday, and I'm going, but I got to get across. No, I think that having an alternate route, I don't know. I think that's one of the things that government, if it does anything, would be strictly along those lines of just maintaining the public thoroughfare.
Question 9. Do you think our country can be turned around to a libertarian, maybe a libertarian-based system? Back to our original Constitution.
I do, because it's the natural order of things, and it's like it's so well enumerated in the Declaration of Independence. And what many people don't understand is that comes from the Iroquois Indian. The biggest part of libertarian philosophy actually comes from the Iroquois, although there is a school of thought that everybody thinks it came from Europe. But that was what was incorporated in that Declaration of Independence. And I think that it's really important that we always keep the focus on the rights of the individual. That's what this is about. Government is there for one purpose, that is to protect the rights and property of every individual. period.
Absolutely.
That's what else can it do? Why would you hire a janitor?
Exactly.
If we didn't, it's a
I'm with
janitor's
you.
job.
Right. Question 10, the last one. Do you believe a state can have a state religion?
No.
Okay.
No, I understand that you could make a legal argument that, yeah, it could, but I think it would defeat the whole purpose of individuality, as most any kind of controlling religion would. And besides, at that point, we become the American Taliban. Then you got religion telling you what's appropriate, how high your daughter's skirt should be.
Okay.
Those kinds
Or swearing on the radio.
Or swearing on the radio. You can't do that. Hey, if you're in Saudi Arabia, they come over and cut your head off.
Yes, but I'm not.
Thank God.
Not yet. You haven't been renditioned.
Oh, well, I was in the military for 10 years, and, that's how we talk.
Well, when you walk out to your car, I'm just going to give you a word of advice: stay low.
Anyway, so that's Rocket Fire. Woo! Thank you very much, Barry Hess, on the Rocket Fire. All right, Mr. Hess, we're going to talk about drugs. And now, so here's the thing. I got some statistics, some drug war statistics. Okay, so did you know the amount spent annually in the U.S. on the war on drugs is $51 billion? Number of people arrested in 2013 for nonviolent drug charges is 1.5 million. Number of people arrested for marijuana law violation, 693,482.
And if you get popped 3 times for that, you're going to jail.
Right. And number of Americans incarcerated in 2013 in the federal, state, and local prisons and jails, 2,220,300, or 1 in every 110 adults. It's the highest incarceration in the world. Proportion of people incarcerated for drug offense in the state, prisons who are black and Latino, although these groups use and sell drugs are similar rates as whites, is at 57%. The number of states that allow medical use of marijuana, 23 plus the District of Columbia. We have 4 states that are approved for taxing and regulating marijuana: Alaska, Colorado, Oregon, and Washington. And the estimated annual revenue that California would raise if it taxed and regulated the sale of marijuana, $1 billion. About $1 billion. Number of people killed in Mexico's drug war, 100,000 plus. Number of students have lost financial aid eligibility because of a drug conviction, 200,000. Number of people in the U.S. who have died from a drug overdose, 43,000. Now, if you take that from the number of people who have been charged with drug possession or arrested for marijuana or any other drug, it comes to, 43,000 have died. So that leaves 649,500 people that are okay out of those numbers.
And we haven't even mentioned how much of those drug-related deaths are pharmaceuticals and wouldn't have fallen into the drug war anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Center for Disease Control and Prevention found that a syringe access program would lower HIV incidence among people who inject drugs by 80%. 1/3 of all AIDS cases in the U.S. would have been caused by syringe sharing, and U.S. government support for syringe access programs, not $1.
The big zero.
Thanks to the federal government ban in 2011. Now, hold on. Let's stand back for a second. Legalizing marijuana, I'm not a marijuana user. I drink like a sailor. I swear like a sailor. I smoke like an army guy. Legalizing marijuana is a libertarian issue. It's our cat's meow,
Mantra.
It's our mantra. But Mr. Hess, how do you feel about the more dangerous drugs like crack, meth, LSD, and cocaine? Should those be available? And, hey, why don't we use them?
Well, it comes down to, it's really not a question of which drug, because there are over 1,000 drugs available. And that's sad. That's a sad testament to this drug war nonsense. Mm-hmm. Because when I graduated college in 1978, I was in the midst of it, and I saw, the hippies and the drug culture. It was never, ever and that was without any laws or without any regulation, and nobody was bothering anybody. Right. It was never like it is now, and now it has become a trade. It's become a moneymaker. Whereas before, in the 70s, it was more of a let's share the experience kind of thing. There was a lot less focus on the money part. and until business people got involved. So it really is kind of interesting to have seen that there were 5 drugs on the illegal market. And one of them, amphetamines, were, you had to get them through prescription, but they were available in the black market. That was it. There was hash, there was acid, there was heroin, and there was pot. Everybody smoked pot. But it was no big thing, and you kind of didn't hang out with the people who did heroin. It was a sleazy drug, or the acid heads, because they were freaky, although they were more fun than the heroin people because they just sat around in a blob.
Absolutely.
And we used to laugh and we'd say the amphetamines were for truck drivers and law students trying to squeeze an extra few hours out of the day.
Sure.
And there was no pressure, no hassles, no drug problem. Well, then they started this war on drugs because of the Vietnam. In Vietnam, they had some really good Thai stick and whatnot. In Thailand, obviously, and they brought it over. Well, that we started our own problem because then they started pushing the drugs. We used to call drug dealers pushers at one point.
Goddamn the pushermen.
Yeah, there you go. You know the songs of the
I
age.
do.
That was Steppenwolf.
I said, "Goddamn the pusherman."
That was Steppenwolf,
exactly.
right?
No,
and
it's a blues
that was
song.
how people felt. And it was a very realistic portrayal. That's what endears everybody to the '70s songs, is because they reflected real life, and there was a very cool life going on for everybody. And we were still the good guys, but it changed so radically that it's now become a drug war. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, is what it is.
Right.
And as an example, in Minneapolis, I think it was, in the year before they started a new program, they had the SWAT team, but they had run them 14 times.
Wow.
All year. Now, because of federal supplements, because it's all about overtime.
Right.
So they're going to call them out if your dog gets out. They're going to call the SWAT team, and they're going to get a little bit of union thank you to the boys, give you some OT at time and a half, or at hazardous duty pay, double time. So you guys are making $80, $90 an hour standing around. That's why they do it. It went up to over 4,000, by the way, the next year. By now, it's a change over 3 or 4 years.
Absolutely.
And so you see it. But our issue as libertarians, we're not pro-drugs. It doesn't even matter which drug it is. It has to do with the integrity of your individual body.
Sure.
That you are the only one who has the absolute right, and no one else has the right to presume any such thing, as to what you do to or put into your body, period. It's not even, that's a principle you cannot take anywhere to any degree and isolate. And incidentally, that made me very uncomfortable because I've seen and I've talked to crackheads and stuff. That is scary stuff, man. And that was invented because of the drug war. Otherwise, there was no market pressure. Nobody wanted it. You just hung around and got high, just hung and had fun.
Sure.
Or you did your acid trips or whatever. But there was no public problem. And so with us, it's not so much, medical marijuana. That's just become the issue. And I think many people feel like it's an issue that, well, marijuana, there's nothing wrong with that. So once we get that passed, people will see they had nothing to fear, and then we'll get the freedom thing. Well, no, I have to go for the freedom thing right up front. Yeah, we're not pro-drugs. We're anti-prohibition.
Absolutely.
Nobody has the right to say we can't. You do grow out of that, I promise.
I've tried them all, but you do grow out of that. You do grow out.
Don't have time. You got to play mental gymnastics.
Right.
I couldn't never know when I'm going to get a call.
Right. Like, I get paranoid. Like, I'm like looking over my shoulder. I'm like, they know. They know I'm stoned.
They know. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. They know. And I'm like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. And I just didn't like the feeling. I felt paranoid. I was looking over my shoulder. I just didn't.
Helicopter over the house.
Yeah, exactly.
The gnomes are out there. The garden gnomes are looking at me.
Yep.
Oh, that was a crack experience. I'm sorry. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Whoa.
Hey, whoa. No, but I just don't get it. For me, I'm like, I won't do it, but it doesn't, I don't have any right to tell anyone else what to do with their life.
Well, the long, tenuous tentacle they try to put on it is say that it increases health and safety for the public as a whole, and so they try to throw it under the general welfare clause.
Okay.
And that's how they frame the argument, is that it drives up healthcare costs and it endangers other people and it wrecks families and
No.
social engineering.
Right, exactly. People are in the mindset that half the government programs, you can't take that away. We were talking on the phone. We said something about NASA. We were talking about NASA, and we said, hey, you talk to the average individual. They would, if you say it's not the government's job to do NASA, they would have a conniption fit. They'd be like, that's bullshit. We're in the Constitution.
Because they want it.
Right, they want it. You know?
They're confusing their wants with their deserves.
Absolutely. You know, and there's a lot of things I would like, but it doesn't mean I need to legislate those things and to steal money.
You can steal them.
Right, exactly. I don't want to steal things from other people to get what I want.
Well, then maybe you can go into office and you can steal it, and we'll call it legislation.
Well, that's what they
not
do.
Stealing, right? It's not stealing
It's
anymore.
legal
Theft
plunder
is
now.
theft.
Exactly.
I mean, you come take somebody's stuff without their permission, it's theft. A 3-year-old
Exactly.
knows that.
Yeah.
People go, well, but if it's for a good cause. No.
Nope,
Theft.
it's stealing.
It can't be made good with good intentions.
And maybe it's stealing for a good cause, but it's stealing.
Yeah, that's the ultimate fallback of the liberal, is that it was for a good cause and it's charity. I'm going, no, there's no such thing as group charity.
Right.
St. Peter, if you're thinking this some religious tomes or something, and you get up there and meet old St. Peter, he doesn't say, "Oh, you paid your taxes? Very good.
Absolutely.
Oh, come on in.
Charity.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Get in here."
Absolutely. Anyways, this is Johnny Rocket here at the Johnny Rocket Launchpad, launching ideas in your direction. Your website's Hess for Governor. You're the former vice chair of the Libertarian Party. You ran for office in 2002, 2006, 2010, and in 2000 for U.S. Senate. Do you have any websites you want to talk to everyone about before we let you go, sir?
You know, I have been, and I promised my wife I would take a couple of years off. We're building this new business, and so, no, I've been just doing some speaking gigs, and I really have had to pull back to rebuild the family's fortune. This thing can get expensive.
Right.
It's an expensive hobby. But, it's I just said, well, we're going to take some vacations and do stuff and not let a political schedule, determine where we are. Because she's my wife.
I know how that is.
Right.
I know, yeah.
It's that sincerity thing. You know, once you can fake that, you got it over.
Right
hey, Johnny.
What?
I got to give it to
That
you,
was
man.
a joke, by the way. I hope everybody realizes.
Yeah, of course. Hey, Johnny.
What's up?
It was Steppenwolf.
It was Steppenwolf.
It was Steppenwolf.
The pusher.
I had to apologize.
Right
on the air. I had to apologize.
Oh, thank you.
You were totally right.
All right. What's your website? Do you have a personal website besides Hess for Governor?
I go up and play on Facebook. There are a couple of guys who put up articles and post stuff for me, but I actually do a lot of it myself. It's just Barry Hess on Facebook.
Right on.
That seems to have taken over so much, and we've got. We're putting together some stuff, but I don't want to be like all these guys who put together like a Liberty Forum, and you have to be a member of 50 different groups. You know, I'm thinking more in terms of being a resource, so that if somebody wants to know how to make signs or how to get promotions and how to get free publicity and what kind of stunts are acceptable. You know, should you do a carry march,
right,
where you got 50 people. And of course, lining the street, they have those SWAT teams out there, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Right.
Well, Mr. Hess, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Yeah,
We
totally,
really
man.
appreciate it. Give it up for Barry J. Hess!
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the invite.
I hope you had fun. Thank you very much for coming on.
I appreciate it. I hope we brought a little bit of value for your time.
Absolutely,
right.
man.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Thank you very
so
much.
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks.
Heather.
I was about to say Helen because I was just playing with the Nixon thing. So, thank you, guys.
You have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This is Johnny Rocket here at the Johnny Rocket Launchpad. Make sure, hey, we got a cool little sound effect right there. Make sure you check out LibertyTalk.fm Saturdays and Sundays, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Liberty Radio Network.fm random times. You can always check us out at Facebook.com/JR Launchpad. Check out Glass Doctor in Seattle, located at 22868 Pacific Highway South. Des Moines, Washington. We fix your pains. Call them at 855-971-9636. GlassDoctorSeattle.com. Tell them Johnny Rocket sent you for 10% off your home, auto, or business glass service. We'll be right back. We have Band of the Week. So stick around, goddammit.